and others as well. Please join us today for episode 61 of the Tellman Fellman Show in just 5 more seconds. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman Show, episode 61. My name is Harris Fellman, and that guy over there.
I'm Tellman Knudsen. That's Jonathan Herbert. Welcome, John, the solution finder, the finder of solutions himself. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Well, I think we have a bio for Jonathan, don't we, Harris?
Well, yeah, Jonathan is I'm going to read it. Jonathan is a seasoned super connector and expert joint venture manager, best known for as the co-founder of the internet marketing part of the IMParty alongside David Gonzalez, which a ton of people that'll listen to us probably know about, and even people that don't know us probably know about it now, right? I think he did sell his what would you call it, equity, his partnership in that 8 years ago or something like that. But
2016, yeah.
That was with David Gonzalez. Jonathan has a deep expertise in connecting people, affiliate recruitment, product launches. He's been instrumental in organizing and managing high impact JV partnerships that drive substantial online sales and foster brand growth. His strategic approach focuses on identifying synergistic business opportunities, coordinating effective promotional campaigns, optimizing relationships to unlock maximum revenue potential. Bottom line, that kind of means he knows how to set up win-win-win situations for the JVs and everybody involved, and probably only gets behind things that are going to be a win for the customer as well. Jonathan's vast network of and comprehensive understanding of digital marketing dynamics, such copywriting, email marketing, affiliate marketing, all that stuff, have made him a trusted leader in the industry. His ability to cultivate meaningful partnerships and facilitate successful collaborations have contributed to the growth and success of countless online ventures, cementing his reputation as a pivotal figure in the digital marketing world. Definitely a pivotal figure in the digital marketing world and internet marketing world. We definitely know about him. I would say that I told ChatGPT to make this 100 words, and I think it added some to get it straight up to 100. We didn't need to say all those words. We were like, we get it. He's good at what he does, and here's some more words about it. So please welcome Jonathan Herbert.
Thank you.
Welcome. So
thank you both. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so Jonathan, we were talking just a little bit before we went live about whether you and I have actually had a conversation before, and if we have, it's been minimal, right? But we bumped into each other a few times, back in the day at marketing conferences, I think.
Yes.
But I mean, David Gonzalez has been a good friend of mine, for a long time. So I'm certain that we've at least had a few meals together or something. But what's your deal? When did you get into the whole internet marketing world or the marketing entrepreneurship world, maybe pre-internet? What's your origin story? Where are you coming from?
I think there are defining moments in our life that occur at the most randomized times ever. I first got even interested in the idea or even realizing that existed when I was on a deployment in the U.S. Army in the year 1999-2000 in the middle of Kosovo.
Yeah.
Right after we bombed Serbia, and they sent peacekeeping troops in there to secure the land and make sure people stopped killing each other. And I got there, I started getting on my email and started using email for the first time, because when you're in a place where you have no contact with the outside world, suddenly you want to connect with everybody.
Right. I bet.
And so I started chatting with all people in the world. My brother, who's 7 years older than me at the time, who was living out in the Arizona desert, teaching people about something called transformative thinking, like how to actually go from this idea and mindset that you're supposed to suffer and hurt to get to where you want to go to there's another way. And my brother had launched his product online. He wanted to launch, and he didn't have the funding for it. And he had a place to stay and all that. And I was like, how much do you need? And he's like, only a few hundred a month. And so I was like, so what are you going to do with this program? He's like, well, I'm calling it getpaidtodoyourdreams.com. I'm going to take people through this whole entire funnel and process to from A to Z, how to figure out who you are, what your actual career path is, and how to pursue that. And so I was like, man, that would be awesome to be able to help people do that and make money while you do it. I'll be your silent partner and just send you money every month for 6 months while I'm on deployment.
Right.
And so that's what I did. I sent him the money. Well, funny thing is, it didn't actually go to fruition. My brother learned a lot about marketing. He got one student, and that student actually went on to start a painting business or whatnot, but he didn't have anybody else. I mean, this is back before you had Google like as a main like force of marketing. Nobody knew.
No, you had to find something that worked, and then you had to just do it relentlessly, and like half the time it still didn't work.
Yeah.
And you had to figure out why.
Well, then there was no place, there wasn't really much place internet driven to advertise it, to get it on the internet. You had to.
What year did he start this?
1999, 2000.
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't get started until 2003. So like,
right.
That was prehistoric.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I had email marketing. I had an email company. So I guess what I just said isn't quite true. I still probably think of it also as being so outbound, at least early days, where like, okay, I've got an email list, I'm going to mail it. Whereas, but there was, there had to be places, right? That whatever, if it was Alta Vista or Yahoo or AOL or whatever, there was places that people congregated. Therefore, they could be, redirected to something else. But it was just so, fresh at that point.
So I did my deployment. I came home. My brother's company really didn't go anywhere, and it's like the beginning of 2000. It's like what? It's like probably June 2001, and suddenly I go on leave for 30 days to go home and visit home. I'm facing a decision whether to stay in the Army and re-enlist for 14 more years to retire, or to get out of the Army.
Right.
And it's crazy because my brother calls me over to the house to meet with my dad. And he's like, hey, just so you know, your dad has been trading in the marketplace and has had a lot of success. And so I asked Dad if he wanted to create a course out of it, because if he could, I could actually market it online for him. And I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah. And in fact, Dad created a course. I marketed online, and we did over 12,000 net profit that first month on a $200.
Okay, hold on. This is the same brother who had tried to do the thing before, it didn't work. And now your dad came up with a course.
Yes.
And then were the three of you working together?
Well, they were two working together, and they basically said, hey, if you get out of the Army, my brother was like, I want to pay you back. You invested in me. Me and your dad see you as a strange attractor, someone who can see what something can be before it is. It's a very unique thing to be able to have that kind of a vision to see it. But then also, we want to offer you a full partnership in our company for that investment you made in your brother, as my dad had said. And we'll figure out your role when you get here. If you choose to get out of the Army.
How much money had you given your brother?
Huh?
How much money had you given? Out of curiosity, how much money had you given your brother at that point?
I don't know, probably $3,000, $4,000.
All right. Yeah. So
which is a lot of money when you're
at that time, with the amount of money you were making, like that's a significant portion of your check.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. I was like at E5, so I mean when I got out. So
he could have paid you back.
I was E4 when I got out, but I was E5 or is E5. I don't know. Anyway, so my brother was like, my dad and my brother were like, come and join us. So I decided to get out of the Army and not re-enlist. And 3 months later, 9/11 happened. And 3 months later, I came home in 2002, January. It's as all my friends prepared for war.
Wow. And where's home for you? Where did you go?
My mother graciously had a room for me when I came back to Portland. Well, they were living at the time was Portland, Oregon, and that's where we went back to.
Is that where you grew up? No.
If you want to go further back, I had the opportunity. My parents decided that they wanted us children to have an international experience when I was 11 years old, and so they took on teaching jobs in Japan, teaching English as a second language.
Cool.
So they moved the whole family over to Japan, a city called Fukui, Japan, And
And is it just you and your brother, or are there other siblings?
I have 3 real sisters and 1 real brother, and 4 stepsisters and 2
How many
stepbrothers.
people moved to Japan?
3 of my baby sister and my baby sister Katie, my elder sister Mariah, and my older sister Jennifer moved to Japan with me.
Well,
Not the brother.
All right.
No, my brother was a Mormon at the time and went on a Mormon mission at the time.
All right. Cool. Okay, so whole family, most of the family moves to Japan.
Yes. And Japan's a unique country. If you're coming from an individualized American kind of a idea,
Right.
and now all of a sudden everything is team, everything is community. And if you're a
Really?
rebellious soul like I was, it's a hard country to deal with because everybody watches what you do. You do anything wrong anywhere, your parents know before you get home because the community talks so well.
Rough.
And so I had Mormon parents who were super strict in a country where the parents don't actually discipline the kids, the teachers do.
Interesting.
So in Japan, the teachers can hit the kids if they're not acting right? They can slap them, do whatever. Like they take care of the discipline. The parents are more like the spoilers, and so I would get like a double whammy between school and home. But it did teach me that I could live anywhere and do anything because I was living in a foreign country. When I was 17 years old in Japan, I was working at a Circle K, stocking the shelves behind the cashier desk, greeting the Japanese, taking the yen, giving back their money or whatnot, and living in a completely different reality than this one that we live in America. So living there, I went from being the same, shorter than everybody to way taller than everybody. I was the guy who could be
that's funny.
in a crowd of a million people and be able to see whoever I wanted to see because I was so tall compared to everyone else.
How tall are you?
I am 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall.
In Japan, most people are like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", right? So
right.
Are they single?
Huh?
Are they single?
I'm
5'4", so I'm looking for someone my height.
I have no idea nowadays, man. But yeah, so I that's where I got my upbringing, was Japan, living around other people who,
wow.
And I got so used to shutting the world out around me. So like when you get so used to every sign you see, you can't read. Everything around you can't read, you can't understand. Most conversations, it's very easy to get stuck in your own little world. And I got
insular. I can see that.
Yeah. So in some ways I was in my own little imagination for a long time. And so I went to Japanese schools, but I had my American studies. I didn't do the Japanese studies because I didn't understand the language and I was very rebellious to it.
Yeah, my kids kind of did that too in Spain. They didn't do a lot of the deep Spanish stuff. They they're fluent-ish. They don't consider themselves fluent, but compared to me, they're fluent. Well, anyway, let's jump back to your dad. Your dad had a course. Your brother and your dad, their first month, they made 12 grand without you. You weren't involved in that. And they're like, he was like, hey, come on, join the new family business.
Yes,
and we'll figure out your role. And this was what, 2000, 2001?
2001, 2002. I actually came home, got out of the military, came home 2001 January.
Oh, right. After 9/11.
Yes, I was living in Germany at the time. Flew back to Portland, Oregon. My mom graciously had a room for me, and now I'm back in Portland, Oregon, and I'm thrust into this company. And my brother's like, "You ever?" He started showing me what he was doing to get traffic, and what he was using was a platform called ShareASell.
Oh yeah, affiliate.
I remember ShareASell.
Yeah,
way back in the day, and he taught me how he was going about finding people to promote our offer in exchange for a commission.
Right.
People that also had software or trainings or whatnot. And so
especially if it was related to investment, right?
Related to trading.
Trading.
Yes, trading specifically. Not investing and trading are two different cats in a lot of ways. Investing takes a lot more longer term approach. Trading is more immediate.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, unless people are really doing the right thing. And so what's trippy about it is for the next 3 or 4 years, we struggled because the thing is that when you first get online, you don't know to do anything. And then back then, nobody knew what to do.
Right.
It was
Right.
Right. It was a very pioneer-based days. I mean, they had people who had the big stages, who sold and told you can just do this online, but nobody was really an expert in the process.
Yeah. They just figured it out a month ago.
Yeah, they just figured it out a month ago, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so the trippy thing is in 2005, a documentary came out. This is a defining moment for me because it showed me a path that I didn't take. A documentary came out called Gunner Palace that covered my artillery battalion that I served with in Germany and their 15-month deployment to Iraq.
Mm.
And I watched this documentary and I was like, I knew all the people in the documentary.
Wow.
And when I'm seeing their facial expressions as bombs are going off or as they're raiding homes and the hell that's going through their head. And the experiences
were the same people the actors, or were there?
No, they were all in the documentary. They were just being covered as a documentary.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And so I got to see the year I missed because I made a defining choice in my life to do something different.
Boy, what a gift. Like nobody like this is like that's like a movie, you know, the what I forget the name of the closed door movie or whatever. You get on it, like you open a door and it's like, oh, I could have went this direction. You get to live that life. You saw, and I bet you felt when I mean, that documentary is good. You know, I bet you felt it more than anyone watching, like that you were there because you're like, you know, when you hear a name, you're like, I know who they're talking about.
And when I see faces and I see their facial expressions, I trained with them so much, I knew what they were thinking.
Right.
Like there's two sides of it. One, I didn't go to battle, but two, all my friends went to war. I mean, they talk about survivor's guilt.
Right.
Over the course of that war, those wars that have no reason for me that I understand now that we had, I lost like 7 friends over this course of my entrepreneur journey. That couple to suicide, few to war, one OD'd from the VA because they don't know how to give out the right, you know, whatevers. And so I went on a different trajectory than everyone else did because I made a choice because of happenstance and realizing that you can live a different life. I could have chose the comfortable way at the time. It was peacetime. I could have stayed in for 14 more years and retired. I made that decision right before the huge shift in what happened to America's trajectory. Mm-hmm. And so that had a big impact on me. Now, at the same time, in 2006, my brother and I were sitting in a sake bar of all places, drinking sake. And we're like, what do we got to do we need to come up with something that can make something that's game changing for us because what we're doing is not working. And as we're sitting in the sake bar, I'm like,
how long have you been in this business at this point?
5 years.
Okay. So fast forward several years, you made some money, but then it started going downhill.
Well, we made some money, but it never was like beyond like we have enough to pay our bills, but we don't really have enough to thrive or experience anything in life other than that.
Right.
There's little wins here and there, but nothing's really big.
Right.
You're making 15, 20 grand a month between you.
Right. Like between all 3 of us.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And so my brother and I are sitting in this sake bar and we're like, what do we do? Like, there's got to be something we can do because this surviving thing is killing us. And we came up with this idea to have a dramatic deal with a deadline.
Yeah. Deadlines. They're awesome. Yeah. So good.
And so someone wanted to automate what we had in an algorithm. And so we hit up that person and said, hey, are you willing to automate this thing for us? And he was like, yeah. And so we thought, let's sell that product as a pre-release. You only have 3 days to buy it. We'll sell it for $2,000. And by then we built somewhat of a size list. And on top of that, we'll let those who buy it get a beta tested. And that weekend we pushed it out to our list and it did $250,000 in sales.
Wow.
And at that same time, like within
like 3 months, this was like a trading bot, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trading bot in the Forex space.
Was there other I mean, this is a huge market now. Were there other trading bots at the time? It wasn't just it was just, but
No, it
obviously
was
they
one of
weren't.
the first bots that came out. It was back
Shut
in
up. Really?
like mass sold. Yeah, I mean, most people
Yeah.
weren't pushing automation. They were pushing courses and software, but it wasn't
Right.
it wasn't in that sense being done yet. I mean, we created our own standalone software. I mean, there were big ones that were platforms that were connected to the brokerages or whatnot.
Right.
This was different. We were connected to a brokerage as well, but it was just a little different.
Yeah, and obviously, even if it wasn't the first one that was marketed this way or what have you, that was a bootstrap, if you will. It was the first. It was the only one with your father's trading techniques.
Yes.
Yeah,
filtered.
and like clearly it was one of the. I mean, it was clearly one of the first things like that your list had seen. You know, if you made $250,000, you know, going out to your own list.
Yes.
Like when you were like stuck at, you know, 20 grand a month or whatever it was.
Yeah. It was. My brother and I were like, "Holy crap, this is the most amazing thing!" And then, like 3 months later, my brother stumbled upon Frank Kern, who's doing product launches and all that cool stuff. And my brother's like, "Hey, we need to go to Mass Control. This thing looks awesome."
Oh, that's where we met.
Okay.
Right, Mass Control at the Hard Rock Cafe or Hard Rock Hotel.
Yes,
I was there.
Yeah. Okay, that's where JMO ran out with his big hat and everything, and
yeah, I think Lavery like went to jail or something that night. Something, yeah.
That was it. So, Mass Control, we got an opportunity to join Kern's first Platinum Mastermind, so we signed up for it.
Nice.
And then my world opened up in a way I'd never had before, because it
the
wasn't
internet
even
the internet marketing community was like awesome at that particular.
It was so cool.
Like it was popping. People were making money. Everybody was like very open and connected, looking to do deals. Like it was a really thriving group of people.
It's back before social media took over and everybody became impersonal and they didn't have to go out and connect with people anymore. They just this is like when you really like this is where you connect with people at the bar, and had a great time and just made a lot of great connections with people. We're all just on their own journeys as well, but it was being part of the platinum mastermind was the best investment I'd ever made. Some people have different opinions about that first one because we were literally nicknamed the Plasterminders.
Nice.
So there was a lot of masterminding at the bar.
The marketing crowd was so young, both the teachers, you know, the gurus and the students. There was a lot. I mean, there was just a lot of drinking going on. I used to drink a lot, but it's like,
You get older.
Yeah, you gotta slow it down. You gotta slow your roll, man.
Yeah.
So okay, so you joined Kern's Platinum Mastermind. How much did that cost you?
$2,700 a month.
Yeah, great, awesome. And Kern, like I love Frank Kern stuff. Like he's great. Yeah. He's super smart. I've implemented so many of his strategies and made a crap load of money.
I met the world through Kern's mastermind.
Cool.
I mean, most people are looking at strategies. I wasn't a marketer. I'm not the guy who's going to go out and create the copy and all that stuff. I'm just the guy who's going to go out and find all the people that are most likely going to promote something.
Right.
So for me, it was
you were only doing that. You didn't even know you were that. I mean, you were doing that for your brother, for the company you had with your brother, and then you guys collectively came up with the idea to. Well, yeah, that was. But the thing that you made. So I'll call bullshit on that because clearly you came up with the idea to do the scarcity, the 3-day launch, 3-day scarcity product.
Well, it's strategy, but I'm not the implementer, right? Like strategy is great, but as far as implementing how to take a concept or idea and actually put it into a web page and put it into copy, if I like your copy, chances are you're going to get like one buyer.
Yeah. I mean, and it's super obvious with hindsight being 2020, but creating an automated version, a bot of to help somebody trade, that's the magic button that everybody looks for.
Yes.
They don't have to implement the hard stuff anymore. They've got the they're like, oh, and especially the list that you were promoting to, it's like, well, we already believe in this strategy, but I've got my emotion involved or whatever, you
Yes,
know,
that was the biggest thing.
I mean, I've tried to do trading and I can't, because I can't figure out why the bad trade goes bad, and then I start really. It just takes one bad trade for me to start second guessing what I thought I learned, because I'm
You
just
figure
learning
it
it from
out.
some
It's a
other dude.
psychology, dude. You're not good with your psychology when you trade. I'm not good either.
Yeah,
I'm not good. My psychology goes out the window when I get into trading. I might have the devil and I got the angel, and they're both screaming at me at the same time, and I'm
Yeah.
not following the plan, and I'm just like getting greedy, and I'm just like getting scared. Dude, it's like the scariest movie you ever watch in your life.
yeah, exactly. Tellman
Um,
doesn't want anything to do with this. We
No,
made
I
him
don't know what's
disappear.
going on. My camera keeps on going weird.
Yeah, it's we got to replace your computer. It's your computer. His computer. I think maybe you got some other shit running or something.
No, it's not. I got this super nice camera, and sometimes it's very, very persnickety. All right, guess it's not as nice as I thought it was.
Persnickety. Okay, so all right, so you got
so
into Frank's mastermind, Frank Kern's
yeah,
mastermind, and then that really opened the world to you, and
it
you're like,
did.
oh, somewhere along the line, you're like, oh, well, I can additionally be a JV manager for other
It,
people's
it
products.
no, it wasn't just that. It was suddenly like I can create a lot of really great friendships with people from
Right.
a lot of different spaces that are all attracted to this Frank Kern hub. Like I'm in this mastermind for a year, right? So I'm like there's some big names in there today that were in there then.
Well, hold on. I want to ask you a question, because this seems a little confusing to me. Is
Okay.
like when you were young, you talked about being in Japan and like completely being insular and just kind of blocking the world out, right?
Yeah.
Totally understandable. I get it, right? But now suddenly you're an affiliate manager, and the way you got involved with your dad and your brother, they were already using Share a Sale, which is an affiliate platform. And so suddenly, as you become an affiliate manager, I mean, that's doing two really interesting things at the same time. The first is it's bringing traffic into the business, which is critical for any business, online, offline.
Right.
You got to bring people in the front door, you don't have business, right? But the second thing is the particular type of traffic that you're bringing in is as a result of developing a relationship. And so being an affiliate manager, a joint venture manager, whatever you want to call it, is very relational, right?
It's very time intensive and relationship driven.
Yeah. And so did you find that came naturally to you, or do you have to put, like, are you more introverted and you have to put a lot of effort into connecting with people externally? Like, what's your deal?
Well, I think we all go through phases in our life.
Totally.
Like there are moments in my life when abundance was so awesome that I was able to be everywhere at once. Like I could basically be at any event, anywhere, connect with so many people. And then there were times where certain things happened in my life where I just was like, F this, man. Like I just pulled away.
Right. Oh yeah. You're not alone, dude. You're not alone. Like I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, with me, during the timing of being in Kern's mastermind opened up the door to a lot of things, because in 2008, I moved to Austin, Texas, and a year later I met David Gonzalez.
Yeah. Let's jump ahead to that. Like, so you met all these people, you got introduced to the network and the community, and then you moved to Austin. Why'd you move to Austin?
Because sunshine and live music, dude.
Yeah, all right. Good place.
It was at the time, it was a small town feel in the city.
Yep. There's
parking everywhere, not condos like there are now.
Yep.
And I just moved there because I wanted sunshine and live music. And my wife and I got married out there and went on our honeymoon, came back from our honeymoon in like April of 2009. And a friend of mine told me about this event that someone has put on called the Austin Entrepreneurial Network or something like that. And I went to it with him and a couple of other friends. And when I got to this event downtown at this bar, I walk in and Craig Prine speaking on stage.
Yeah, we had Craig on the show.
You did? Oh, awesome, man. I love that dude. Yeah, I love that guy.
That's right.
He's speaking on stage. There's like 20 people in the room. It's a bar with 2 levels. And when he's done speaking, the host comes back up and it's David Gonzalez and he's thanking everybody. And then once the speaker's done, everybody just starts drinking and networking for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
So I'm in this room of 20 entrepreneurs who are also from Austin that are doing unique things online there's big names and there's little names and everything in between. And it's a great place to connect and recharge. I was like, wow, what a great place to go to once a month to recharge with other like minds.
Right.
So you get a reminder every month of why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
Because sometimes it can be a lonely world, even though you're an entrepreneur. Going back home and getting back on
like most of the time, like if you're working on stuff and you're just like, nose to the keyboard and you're just cranking for days on end or whatever, like it can get super lonely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super lonely because nobody else in the world does what you do. Most other people have some sort of 9-to-5 corporate job,
especially
whatever else.
Back then, like more people are working from home, and it's obviously much more normalized now. But like back then,
the working from home part, forget that. But even now, though, like I mean, what we do is magic. I think there's maybe there's 100,000 people in the world that make a good living as digital marketing entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So with David, I met David that night, and I was like,
maybe more.
I talked to him for several hours, man. We connected so well. And I was like, dude, I called him the next day and was like, dude, I just want to get you on camera, interview you every day just to ask you questions. And he had just sold his 7-figure hypnosis business. And he was like, sure, dude. Huh?
Yeah. So Harris didn't know. So David Gonzalez also owned a Positive Changes hypnosis clinic, like Rich Sheffrin. And when I became a hypnotist, I got trained through a Positive Changes franchise in Vermont, strangely. So Rich Sheffrin and David Gonzalez and I all have this like Positive Changes connection, which is a little weird, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's not weird at all. I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, just interesting,
Yes. Yeah, man. Well, weird's good too. I mean, we're all weird at some level. I mean, come on, we're older. I mean, geez. But so I interviewed David for 2 weeks and I just asked him massive connect because he was a natural connector. He was so good at being genuine.
He's great. Yeah.
Genuine.
We haven't had him on yet, but we should soon. Yeah.
Huh?
We haven't had him on the show yet. We should soon.
You should definitely do that if you get a chance, man. Just so genuine, so personal.
Yeah.
Just he understands a level of connection that most people never will. And he's just so in the moment and so present.
Yep.
So gracious and just humble as well. And so we connected really well. And so I started.
He genuinely cares about whoever it is that he's talking to. It's I mean, and assumes that the universe will take care of him if he helps enough people get what they want. Like it's the old Zig Ziglar line. I mean, at least that's what it looks like from my conversations with him. I felt like
you're spot on. You're spot on.
He's genuinely a genuine person and cares about whoever he's connecting with, and it comes natural.
I know so many people that became millionaires through going to the Internet Marketing Party. Like just people that just attended because of the people they connected in that space, because the space that's created and the energy that's created around that space. I mean, you're walking to a super highway of like mass, like an external consciousness that pulls in more opportunity than you know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, when he was first starting out, I was in the lucky space of being in Kern's mastermind. So I was actually able to invite big names out to come speak at the party as well.
Right.
And so I started supporting the party like mad. Like that just became part of my life. I was like, man, this is awesome. Why wouldn't you want to help support something and grow it that's having an immediate benefit on your own life and your own business and the own connections? Because it's not always about the direct connection. There's
hold on. Did you found it at that point with David, or was there something going that you were supporting?
So it was called Entrepreneur.
It was called something else.
And then you're like, were you the one that was like, Dave, we should let me do this with you, and we should call it IMParty?
I can't remember exactly. I know that Michael Lovich was involved. Michael Lovich had a 10% ownership in it, and you had Jim Walters, who did all the video and everything, had ownership in it. And at some point, we incorporated, like in 2011, I think, under Internet Marketing Party together.
Yeah.
Michael Lovich sold his company, went on to create a new company, and didn't have time for it, and gave me his shares. And then, David gave me some more shares as we actually partnered into another company for joint ventures as well at that time.
Wait, hold on. Was that, wait, don't say it. Don't say it. It was like the velvet rope.
Yes, that was David's company. And then I came in and partnered with him on that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so the party was the thing to go to. It still is today if you go to it. I mean, it's,
yeah, like if you want to get connected in the internet marketing community inexpensively and fast, fly to Austin, go to the internet marketing party. It happens every month. Like
it happens every month.
Yeah,
it happened last night. Yeah, it happens every night.
Years. Like it's so good. Yeah, like
yes.
it's like, I mean, it's at a different place. They move around, but like it's like Cheers. You know what I mean?
It's like a family reunion, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It's the quickest, easiest, fastest way to like get on the inside.
Yes.
Like really, it's assuming you're not a jackass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In 2000, and so then, as all stories are awesome, some stuff happened with with an offer that I helped push that it wasn't even I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to say that I put two people together. Something bad happened to a lot of people because of it. And even though no one blamed me for putting them together and I had no fault at what happened, I took it personally and realized, man, you really got to vet people.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it can impact everyone in such a negative way. And it impacted me so much, in fact, that I literally pulled away from the marketing world altogether for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Through you.
I mean, I was a Lyft driver for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I literally just separated from all of it and said, F it, this is not
for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you believe you're not the first person who quit marketing and drove cars while they were quitting marketing that we've had on this show?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Jeff Mills talked about it. He drove.
So
Jeff Mills drove Uber for a couple of years, and then AI woke him out of his stupor.
No shit. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
He wouldn't have said it quite that way, I think, but
stupor.
So 2015, I had my daughter.
Lumbering from internet marketing, from entrepreneurialism for a bit. I've done it. Not that I've in a way I've done it in when I had my email marketing company and we decided to move from California to I had an email marketing company that went under, and I really retreated and was licking my wounds in Minnesota for a few years. But that's when I found internet marketing, actually.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But that was after a business failure, a few years and a couple of years of.
Yeah. No shit. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing you can't do is sit there and lick your paws. You've got to actually get up on. The faster you get back up, the easier it is to reintegrate.
Get moving, start trying something again. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to reintegrate fast, or you're just.
This world slow you down. Fast. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to lose momentum, right?
Yes, easy to lose momentum. So 2015, I had my daughter. Here I am driving. I was a stay-at-home dad for my daughter's first 2 years of her life.
Cool.
2017 came along, and lo and behold, graciously, Fred Lamb reached out to me. Fred Lamb had an e-com offer. He was launching. He already had all the affiliates lined up, but he did not want to train somebody and said, dude, I need you to jump on board with me and manage all my affiliates. And I still knew how to do all this stuff. It's just I hadn't been involved with it. He already had all the people ready to promote it, and he just asked me to jump on board and manage his affiliates for his launch.
Right.
And so that's what got me re-engaged in this space. I mean, I've just so you know, in a little history, like Mike Dillard was in his second launch and his email platform stopped working for getting a hold of affiliates. So they called me up and said, hey, I'll give you a percentage override if you can reactivate and get a hold of all these affiliates that aren't getting our messages, get them to promote.
Right.
And I found like an extra $500,000 for them in that 1 week. I jumped on board with them to reach out to those people.
Right.
So it's not like I don't know how to do that. It's more of a matter of Fred Lamb didn't want to get somebody that didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
And have to train them up. So I jumped on his company and helped him with a couple launches. And then I started doing little JVs here and there and started getting back into my space. And then 2019, I took this course that was really a big shifter for me. It's a course called the Marketing Mercenary. A really good friend of mine, and maybe you know him too, is Ron Lynch.
I know Ron Lynch. Ron and I have a lot of common friends, but I don't think he and I have ever actually hung out.
Holy shit, that's a guy you want to interview, man.
No, I've heard lots of amazing things about Ron, but we just haven't crossed paths yet.
The guy will talk to your soul when you speak to him. He will ask you questions that you have never thought of or considered before that make you really stop and think. He is the mastermind behind GoPro camera as well as OxyClean Success. He did all their infomercials for them that blew them up into the sky. He's the guy who hired Billy Mays. Like he's got an agency that helped, that he's a master at getting the message across to the potential client or customer and letting them know what best benefits them in this process. He got so sick of copywriting of the day because he started coming to the party. Brad Costanzo introduced him to David and said, "Hey, you need to come to the party." And so he came to the party, and he started connecting with everybody. It became even a bigger family. It's around the same time Jesse Elder started coming to the party. And so Ron created this course called the Marketing Mercenary. I can't go into details about it other than to say it has a 70% dropout rate because it's so time intensive, but it will take you so deep into understanding how to create a creative brief, how to understand what your USP is, benefits, features, everything in between, to really come up with a creative plan for a company.
And was this
it sounds like something like a good business school should teach, but they don't.
Yes.
It was it a live course or was it pre-recorded?
It's a written course.
Okay, cool. So
you get your lessons via email.
Definitely self-study.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you got so much pressure to pass too, because you got deadlines. It's not like you just get it and you can do it at your own leisure. No, he's got deadlines for you, and if you don't get something in time, he will. You'll find out that Ron has a lot of Ron is very, 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 very. Make sure that you know how he feels if you're not doing what you say you're going to do. But it also motivates you to get it done. So I took this course.
So very, very drill sergeant attitude.
If you're fucking up, I'm sorry, my language. If you're messing up, yes. But if you're not, he's totally cool. He's totally helpful. If you have any questions, he's more than happy to be there for you. But if you're not your word in certain things, he can be.
So tough love. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never been to the military like you two. So drill sergeant they're rough on you even if things are going well, I guess. They're tougher on you if things are going well, I bet, from what it sounds like.
For a reason, though, not just to be an A.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's to build camaraderie and.
Well, I was also a student. It wasn't just my buddy. I was a student, which is a different realm, right?
Yeah.
I knew drill sergeants in the military, and they were totally cool with me, but I wasn't there.
You're not their friend.
I wasn't in that system that I ever experienced that. If I was, it would be totally different.
Right.
But I also got to know this course so well that when I graduated from it, I changed my LinkedIn profile at the time 5 years ago. And then within a week, a gentleman reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got this great program. It's in the trading space. It's very high end, but I can't get it to convert online. I've only been able to convert by word of mouth referrals." And so he was like, "What can you do to help me? And do you think there's something you can do to help me?" So I got on a call with him. His name's Roger Curry. We connected really well. Had a really great synergistic connection. And we took his product, and I got my brother involved in it, and my brother really felt the synergy, and my brother created the marketing for it, and I started finding joint ventures for it. And for between 2019 till this year, we went online, and we brought his product online and got affiliates to promote it, and we were doing 7 figures a year. And then last year, everything changed. The economy shifted. There was a very high-end $25,000 product.
And there was we talked about this offline. There's no, that's it. $25,000 product.
Right.
And
there was no front end. There's no
$2,000 course, no $5,000 group coaching. There's $25,000 a year mastermind
that will teach $25,000 a year mentorship, group coaching mentorship.
Okay. And they had to have a certain amount of money in the bank because
they had to have at least $100,000 in reserve to actually use to invest as they went through this course.
And then the market turned sometime in the last year, and that wiped that concept out.
It wiped the concept out at the time. Yeah. At least in the channels I was going for, the people that I was doing JVs with, suddenly they're like, my list doesn't have that kind of money. It just totally reversed. And so
you said a few minutes ago, get back on the horse. You said a few minutes ago, as soon as something goes wrong, you got to get back on the horse. So what are you doing now?
Well, that's the thing. We went from the best year ever last year to a year that didn't happen much. So what I do, I reach out to my network. That's the thing. Most people feel that they got to do everything on their own. Like me, I realized I need another job somewhere. I need something I can do to generate income for my family, and also something that's going to benefit the end user, and also something that people would love to do. So I just wanted to find somebody with the right offer, with the right name to jump on board with. And so I tried looking on my own, but I found that like LinkedIn and all these other places, you look at the applicants and there's like 100 people in line. Like, what the heck is this? And I had a little bit of an ego for a moment there where I was like, I don't want to reach out and just tell people I'm looking for this, because come on. We all have this idea of what we think everyone else's idea of us is out there, right? But reality is, the more we get stuck in that shit, man, the more we just make our world smaller.
Yeah.
It doesn't benefit us. And so I reached out to Matt Gill and said, hey, dude, I'm looking for somebody that I can work with. And Matt was more than gracious enough to say, hey, dude, I'll put out a word for you, and I'll just line some people up for you, and you can interview with them, see who you want. And I got on a couple of interviews, and one guy I connected with really well. But there's also a time frame, right? Like I don't want to be stuck in an interview for a month before I jump on something.
Right.
I'm the kind of mindset, the longer you wait for something, the longer it tells out, the more the momentum slows down. And a couple of weeks ago, I got on a call with Robbie Blanchard from Commission Hero. I'd never heard of him before that moment. I mean, I'd seen him online, seen his ads and stuff, but I never realized what an impact he's making. He's got over 18,000 students in 5 years on a platform where he shows people how to use Facebook ads, find the right offers on ClickBank, and make a commission to make money on the back end. And then I find out the guy's
it's $1,000 product. It's not 18,000 $30 students. It's $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 product, right?
No, his product for Commission Hero, it's one pay of $997 or 3 pay of $497. I'm not talking about the price of his product. I'm saying that his product and his course, he has this. What he has is
I know. You just said 18,000 students. Those are students at buying a pretty decently priced
product.
Those
are students who are buying a $997 product.
And
yes.
I hadn't heard of him either, because I've had my head down in my traffic business for a long time until it had its problems earlier this year. And I started working for Warrior Plus. I work inside at Warrior Plus consulting, but whatever. It's I don't have an hourly show up these 9 to 5, but I work in the company. And one of the guys there, well, basically I'm there for vendor relations, and they're like, maybe you can do something like what Robbie's doing, and I'm like, who the F is this guy? And then as I dig deeper, one of the guys at Warrior works with him as well as working at Warrior. And so he was able to tell me and then you showed me what the new stuff is. So, but basically he was able to, I remember him telling me that somebody teaches how to, because look, in my 10 years of in my 20 something years of email marketing experience, it has become very difficult to buy traffic to sell an affiliate product. And frankly, most of the time I don't like it conceptually, because you're only getting a percentage of it. It makes sense. It's always made sense to me to buy traffic for my own because the numbers, it's a lot easier to make the numbers work. But when you're only getting 50%, or if you're only getting a CPA that's a percentage of what the lifetime value might be, that's a little different. But still, even all of that stuff is it's very and you don't control the conversion rate. Like, you don't control the sales conversions. You don't, so the fact that there's somebody that I learned that there was somebody out there that not only is doing this at a high scale, but is actually teaching students how to find offers on ClickBank and probably other places too, and how to try using Facebook ads to market to that. And that kind of blew my mind when I was like, really? And then you showed me this, was it Hero AI or something like that?
Yes.
Where there's now it's not quite automated, but it's basically showing you like what he's actively pursuing, right? What he's actually actively promoting.
Here's the thing. You haven't heard of him because he ran in a gym, then he was struggling, and he discovered that Facebook ads help run a gym. And then he was like, wow, this works really well. And he's like, I wonder if I can do this for other things. And so he got into ClickBank. And the dude became the #1 affiliate on ClickBank back in 2021.
Because he didn't know any better. He didn't know any better. He hadn't gone through the cycle of
he hadn't been through the jaded cycle of ups and downs and what everybody else. He just went on his own trail.
So good. I love it. It's inspiring. It's like, because when you've been in the game for 20 freaking years, you make all sorts of and you've tried things that didn't work. You've seen friends try things that didn't work. You develop a belief, and then the belief is doing things that way doesn't really work, right? So I'm not going to do that anymore. I learned that lesson. I'm going to move on. But then you see somebody who's like, actually, jackass, it totally does work if you pull your head out of your ass and you think about it differently in this way. Or does he teach people to build a list on the front end?
No.
What? Sacrilege!
No, I know it's crazy, but it's counterintuitive, Tellman. But you know what? Building a list on the front end does? It gets rid of at least 50% of the people that are going to see the offer.
I know
in that moment.
I know.
So you know what the list is, Tellman? The list is your Facebook pixel.
No, it's true.
He's showing people. So commission. There's two different things here. He has Commission Hero.
Yeah.
Which is $9.97 or 3Pay of $4.97, but it basically is a marketing course for Facebook ads. Even if you have your own product, if you take his course, you're going to learn how to do things that you never knew how to do before, because you're learning from someone who didn't go through 20 years of internet marketing experience like everybody else of up and downs. Someone who just actually took it, made his gym super successful, and then became a top affiliate on ClickBank without having a list. He was beating out people with 100,000 list names, right?
Interesting.
With traffic.
All right. Well, I mean, a lot of people did that before we started building lists, and now everybody's building lists. And so like these things
it's a different approach. It's unconventional. It's like unconventional warfare. It's a completely different approach to see.
So you're now the affiliate manager for this guy.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So who are you looking to connect with? Like, who makes a great affiliate for you, and how do they get in touch?
Well, just one other thing.
Yeah.
Now he has something called Hero AI, his other software. It's brand new.
Right.
It's $19.97 or 3Pay of $9.97, but it actually is connected into the API of ClickBank, API of Digistore. But it actually it has all the offers in there. And it also shows you what offers are working the best from that API.
It's a little bit like trade prediction. It's like in a certain way, because you're able to see what's selling well now, like in the moment.
Yes. And now he has an AI generated machine in there that actually allows you to create your creative and helps you create your creative, your images and everything you need for the ads.
But by pulling from the sales pages, presumably.
It's creating unique creatives for every offer, whatever offer you're choosing,
right?
And helps you customize it so you're not spending hours. And then he has this course tied to it that shows you how to, from setting up your Facebook business account to actually do marketing. Right. So anyway, who am I trying to connect with, you asked?
Yeah. Who makes a great affiliate or promoter? You know, what types of people are you looking to connect with right now?
I'm looking for people in personal development niche that have big names. I'm looking for big names in the online marketing space, the AI space. People that want to send people, know that they're going to actually send their students to something that's really going to teach them something unique and really special for freaking affiliate marketing and AI driven affiliate marketing that's not related to lists or whatever else.
Right.
And B, just people in the personal development niche. Some of the top people in the person, like Bob Proctor, for example, he did really well with them.
Cool.
But he's got a webinar already set up. He can do a live webinar if you have a big enough list, or he has the automated webinar set up, and that's how he sells his program.
Cool.
And so he's never opened this up on a regular monthly basis. He's always just done a once a year launch. And he buys his own ads for his product to sell, but he does a once a year launch. But I came in to actually help open it up to being available on Evergreen.
Yeah.
So you can promote it. And he just had a child like 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah, he's in it. All right. He's got some work to do then. Yeah.
He's got a lot of work to do, but he's still on top of it.
Cool.
He's still on top of it, man. I've never seen somebody so hardcore at such a young age. Because when I had a kid, I was like, this is a
how old is he? How old is he?
Huh?
How old is he?
I don't know how old he is. He's young.
Yeah.
I didn't ask his specific age. He looks like he's probably high 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, that's cool.
Back.
I'm very curious about this guy. Like, yeah, he seems like worth checking out. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for people to reach out to you and connect, Jonathan?
There's two different ways that are probably best. One is to email me, Jonathan, JONATHAN @commissionhero.com, or the second way is through my Facebook. Just PM me, private message me on Facebook. And
great. So you guys can look up Jonathan Herbert on Facebook, and it's Jonathan Herbert 001. You'll know you're on the right page if you see that.
Robbie's 40. He turned 40 this year.
Well, apparently he's doing well. Keep it young, Robbie. Keep it youthful. Cool.
So that's how they get in touch with you for that, or really for anything. If they want to connect with you, maybe they have a project that they want to involve you in as well. I know you're going to be focused on Commission Hero and Hero AI for a while. I'll definitely send you some people. But I mean, we talked offline about that though, and I'm helping Johnny Andrews with his, and Tellman and I have one that we'll be looking for affiliates, and so there'll be some crossover. And I think it's important to know what some of the other quality offers are, out there. So
Johnny Andrews is an animal, man.
Yeah, he is. He's a content creation animal for sure.
I was one of his groomsmen at his wedding way back when.
Nice.
Sorry, when I hear the word groom, I think something else. I'm like, he groomed you for what?
I remember him walking out. I did this funniest thing, man. I remember Johnny Andrew walking with a boot up the aisle to get married.
A boot?
Because I guess a week before he told the kids in the middle of this little lake on a boat, it's safe to jump in. You can jump in. Watch. He jumps in and he lands like at his knees and breaks one of his feet, his ankle or something.
Oh, so it was a cast. He had a cast on his leg.
Yeah. I thought he was carrying him.
That sounds like Johnny, though. Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
Jonathan, I'm curious. It sounds like one way or the other, you've spent most of your marketing career, which is a lot of your adult life here, doing a lot of stuff with affiliates and strategic partners and joint ventures in one way, shape, or form since the very beginning. And I'm curious about if you've considered starting creating a course, starting a community, and actually teaching people how to become effective affiliate managers and networkers, and how to do what you do well.
It's weird. A couple of days ago, a buddy of mine was like, because I've even for the F of it, even before I actually sold something, I started creating content on TikTok, just basically talking about my history, but then also getting into new concepts such as how many how many people out there are always looking at the next contact, but they're never taking time to look at all their existing assets of individuals, the gold in their network.
Right.
I create a process for like sitting down with people and saying, okay, meet with me, give me a list of like 25 top people in your life who are entrepreneurs. And I'm going to sit down with you. And we're going to figure out and find correlations between what they want and need and what you can do for them.
Right.
I did this with Marisha Murphy like 6 years ago before she blasted off and started doing specifically what we figured out with her. I've done this with a few other friends as well, just never on a big time scale. But if I can sit down with somebody and find out their top 20, 25, these are connectors, by the way.
Yeah.
You got to have the gift of the gab. You have to have the ability to connect with other people. You can't just be like some rando who's like, I got all these friends, but none of them are entrepreneurs. Now, it's not really going to work that way in this space. So if you give me a list of 20, 25 top names, I can sit down with you. And then something happens when I'm interviewing you in a sense and saying, okay, how do you know this person? Where did you meet them at? What do they do? What are they seeking? What's what's like their number one talent, and what is it that they provide to other people? Now, if you do that with 25 people you know in the space, you might realize there's like maybe 10 people seeking something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody else in there can provide that solution to those people, and maybe there's an opportunity to even partner with that person to provide that solution to those people.
Right.
Now, imagine if you did that on that level, but then you did the same thing to their friends, each person on there. And then you dived in with each person that was that person's friend, and you found out their list. Now you have a network within a network of needs and solutions.
That's right.
And personal connections. Because here's the thing. I think in the future where we're headed, because the world has become so untrusting, that personal relationships are what's going to make the world go around a lot faster than just Billy Bob Thornton, whoever, like saying whatever to you and saying this is the most awesome thing since sliced bread,
right.
So I believe that we're in a time now moving towards the future that personal relationships, yes, social media is great and all these other things are awesome places, but you don't get that same time as you do through a personal relationship with someone to really see what can be possible, right?
It's true. And
so I want to help create content to help people learn how to create more deeper, meaningful relationships with the people in their lives, but also help them to find opportunities and gold within their existing network, and then how to grow that network from within.
Dude, maybe you should start a community about that. Serious. What are your thoughts? I mean, that's really cool. I one way or the other, however you're going to teach it, start doing it, dude. Like, seriously. I mean, it's great. It's super important. You've been doing it for over 20 years, and like, it's really, really, really good stuff. I think people would resonate with it.
Okay, cool.
But like, for you, like, what are you imagining for the future? Like, what are you working on next, or working toward?
Right now, I'm working with Robbie to help him get his stuff out as much as possible. First off, that's just my objective. A is to thrive.
Yeah.
Ensure my family thrives. The future, I feel like we finally have a future to look forward to recently because of recent events. So for me, it's more of a matter of just continuing on the grind of connecting. Continue on the grind to establish relationships. Sometimes it's hard to see what the big future looks like at this point. Yeah. For so long, I was like, oh my God, we're all screwed. I mean, it's just, and that's just my own personal take, but the future, I think that it's hard to focus too much on it. Just like it's too hard to focus. If we focus too much on the past or too much on the future, we sometimes don't stay present enough to stay what's right in front of us.
Yeah. So that's a really good thing to focus on in the future is the present.
Yes.
Very big time. Being with what is and who's in front of you. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Well, I think we got to let you go. It's been an hour. We hit like 45 minutes, and I was like, oh man, that went fast. That was a very fast 45 minutes. But so I wanted to make sure we wrapped it up, without speeding, without cautiously, recklessly. That's what the word I'm looking for. Without
This is the
recklessly
first time
ending
I've
it
ever done
without
anything
it
like
making
this
sense.
before.
But
First time I've ever been interviewed on anything. So
Really?
well, you did it. You did a great job. It was
Well, dude, you should get
it
to
was
it.
very interesting and and relatable.
yeah, well, I appreciate you guys taking your time to let me come on here and talk and share my life with you guys. I still need to have a conversation with you sometime, Tellman, because I feel like I know this guy, but I don't know this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, like, let's exchange phone numbers on Messenger
Yeah.
and get on the phone next few days.
I love that, man.
For sure.
I love that, dude.
You know what's jumping into my mind, Jonathan, is especially if this is the first time you've been interviewed, is if you're in the relationship business, which you are clearly. I mean, most people are in some way, but you really are. And your goal is to continue deepening and strengthening the relationships you have, and hopefully building some new ones along the way. One of the cool things about the types of people that you're looking to connect with is that they enjoy being put in the spotlight. For the most part, they're going to be gurus, and they have an audience. So that, I mean, they're a leader of an audience in some capacity. And you, if you wished, could start interviewing them. Interview all the coolest connections that you've ever had as a result of being that connector, of being that affiliate manager, that partner manager, that networker, and just like interview these cool people. And doing that will teach you more about them. They'll be more connected with you. And you're just like taking a minute to broadcast their stuff to the world, whatever it is, presumably without even an affiliate commission for you. So it's just like, it's a great way. I found one of the biggest byproducts of the Tellman and Fellman Show for me so far has been an immediate increase in and rekindling of relationships with old friends. It's been, which I was hoping for, but it really is working. It's great.
It's like the harmonic law of reciprocity. And reciprocity is not always about a tit for tat. It's just about the energy that comes back at you and reflects exactly what you're putting out. I love that. I've considered it before, but then I get in this, and we all get the imposter syndrome sometimes, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Well, when you're interviewing other people, you don't need to worry about that. You're just asking them questions, Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it.
Well, let me know if you decide to move forward on that. Like, let me know if you need any tips or anything, because I think it would probably like dramatically expand your network and reconnect. It would give you an excuse to reconnect with all the heavy hitters that you know.
I love it, man. I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Let us know. We can talk to you about it.
I will.
Something we hey, and we're certainly not setting the world on fire with it yet, but we've been doing it for a few months, and we've gotten benefits out of it, and we haven't had the time to repurpose it yet, and there's a lot that you can do when you do it, but really
I can see massive benefits of they say that the more that someone talks, the more they feel like they know the other person.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny.
And I can just see the massive ripple effect of benefits, because it's guilty by association, right?
That's right. That's right.
The messenger is guilty as the message.
I like to think awesome by association. Awesome by association.
Yes. That too. Yeah.
Cool. Rock and roll.
All right. Well,
thanks for taking the time. We have 2 more questions for you.
What's that?
Number 1 is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you enjoy your experience today on the Tellman and Fellman Show?
I give it a 10, man. It was awesome. I felt very comfortable. I for majority of the time, I forgot the camera was there.
Awesome.
Right.
And so, if you only had 1 nomination, who would you nominate to be the next special guest on the Tellman and Fellman Show?
I would nominate probably David Gonzalez.
All right. Well, we'll consider David nominated then. Rock and roll. That's awesome. Cool, man. Well, please let us know how we can help.
I second that nomination.
That's right. I'll third that nomination.
Yeah.
Cool. Rock and roll. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who tuned in and was watching. This has been a great episode.
Thanks, everybody. This has been episode 61 of the Tellman and Fellman Show, and we will see you on Monday. right?
And if
Today's
you
Friday.
love the Tellman and Fellman Show even half as much as we do, highly recommend that you go to tellmanandfellman.com, enter your name, your email, and your phone number to join our list. You'll get access to all of our previous episodes and updates for all of our future ones. So go ahead and jump in there, opt into the list. It'll change your life. By far, the best email list on the internet, tellmanandfellman.com. Harris, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, when we see, if you're on the list, when we see you at the IMParty, Tellman will tickle you. No?
Oh, I will. I will tickle
Oh, he
you.
will. Okay, he'll tickle. It's great. It's super fun. He carries feathers with him all the time, and usually in his ears. But no, it's anyway.
Harris is gonna lick you right under the chin.
But he's gonna use magic, so you won't even know it's him.
That's right. It'll be with my puppet. It'll be with my llama puppet.
That's right. Harris is gonna come in with his llama puppet. It's gonna be awesome. All right, guys.
I'm breaking him back out. When I saw, Ori yesterday, we had Ori. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, it inspired me that I should really have my puppet back in my act.
That's right.
Not this show. Don't worry. I'm not bringing a llama onto this show. But.
Croy, thanks for the reminder. So Croy is starting his own show. He was on our show, and he wants to tell everybody to click the like button. I think that's a great prompt, Croy. Thanks for the reminder, guys. If you're watching, click that like button, share it, like it, join the email list, change your life. All right, guys, rock and roll. We'll see you later. Have an awesome day. See you on Monday.
Thanks everybody.